SMT Nation, we back. Nation, T-Mobile is offering us some updates, and whenever they discuss these types of things, I like to cover them here on the channel. Indications that the growth is still happening, and I don't think they're done. All right, so I'll be sure to link the Sumeric article from Fierce Wireless. It'll be linked in the description. Also, don't forget about the real SMT Buy Me a Coffee link. If you want to support your creators directly, that's one way you could do it. Keep the SMT caffeinated and motivated. Link in the description. And if you're looking for a great deal on wireless service, don't want to break the bank, still want good customer care, you can get it from our wireless partner, Mint Mobile. They just raised all the data allotments on all the plans, and they didn't touch pricing. Unprecedented in today's economy. Check them out. Use our unique partner link. It'll save you money, and then you'll be helping out the channel. All right, so T-Mobile indicating that they indeed do have more than their fair share of market share in the top 100 markets. And that's not the only thing that they've been able to do. They've been taking share from other areas of business as well. So what I think T-Mobile has been able to do is capitalize on the opportunity of having a highly capacitive and growing network over the last couple of years. And it's translated, right? So the quote here from their, I think it's their chief financial officer, Peter S. Valdick, he said, in the top 100 markets, we're typically in the 40% market share. Now, when you look at the way that breaks down, that means Verizon and AT&T are sharing 60%, right? So that's going to be somewhat of a split. Maybe sometimes a little more Verizon, maybe sometimes a little bit more AT&T. So T-Mobile being the share leader, you know, and to be honest, we shouldn't really be surprised. They've always thrived in the urban markets, right? Now, if I take a look at the Cleveland PEA, right? If I look at this region, it's previously an Alltel market. Verizon has share here, a majority share. They're like 50%. But most of the time, it's T-Mobile taking that type of share, right? When it comes to the top 100, right? So I don't know how many exactly they take, stuff like 40 and 45% market share, but they're winning, and it's related to their 5G network. T-Mobile says 60% of their postpaid customers have a 5G-enabled device, giving them a very highly capacitive network experience. Osvaldic also stated that within the 775 smaller markets and rural towns T-Mobile has categorized as coverage areas, they have 16.5% penetration, which if you look at their mark from, I think this was a couple of years ago, T-Mobile said in an analyst day that they want to go, for more share in those types of markets, increasing their penetration to 20% by the end of 2025. This to me indicates that they're probably going to do it, because this was 2 years ago. That would have been 2021. We're now in 2023, kind of putting it at the halfway mark. They're probably going to get there. I think they're going to hit the 20% mark, and that's what T-Mobile does. They usually hit or exceed what they say they're going to get. So what they've been doing is, in order to get that, in order to achieve those penetration rates, they have to build tower sites. They have to increase the coverage in areas, because in these types of markets, smaller markets and rural areas, if you don't have the coverage, you don't get the business. People are not going to compromise coverage from, poor coverage from a carrier just to save a couple of bucks if they can't make calls, can't get their texts, and can't use their data because the network is not available or up to par. This indicates that T-Mobile is becoming more up to par, closing the coverage gap. The large network that Verizon has had for so long, and AT&T has enjoyed more recently in the last handful of years with FirstNet, that coverage gap is closing a bit, and that's why you're seeing T-Mobile market share coming up, right? People are going to obviously try the service, right? I think T-Mobile is wise to do the network pass, right? Allowing people to get on and test it to see if the coverage is there, and I think it's paid out for them. And of course, the other segment that T-Mobile is really focusing on is the business side. We see T-Mobile taking more and more business customers, and we see them taking an enterprise and government, right? They want to get to that 20% mark by the end of 2025 as well. And the way that they have to do that is much more challenging, right? You have the request for proposal, right? Before these businesses, before these enterprise and government customers get in, they have to test the network. That can be for several months. And then when they make the decision, sometimes they still will allow their employees to choose between, even if T-Mobile comes in new, to choose between Verizon or AT&T, and they still keep a couple of options. So T-Mobile has to fight those types of things and get in. And then, of course, when it comes to, being able to get that coverage, get the trust of the users, and then the point comes in, they can make that happen, right? And they've been able to also leverage their 5G home internet as part of their growth, right? Where customers can bundle it. Some of these customers are probably on DSL or satellite, and T-Mobile can blow that performance out of the water simply with an upgraded, built, or modernized site, right? And that's what they're doing, folks. They're doing it with a highly capacitive network, getting people into 5G phones that they'll enjoy on that network, and being able to give people a fair price with a decent option. All right, now when Verizon and AT&T upgrade their network, continue to upgrade their network, it makes it a nice competitive marketplace for the consumer in these places. But if T-Mobile comes in beating Verizon and AT&T in price, and they can service the customer adequately, customers will move, and I think that's what we're seeing. And 20% market share is not a lot, but it's big to T-Mobile because they've never had that business before. If they gain 20% in enterprise business, 20% in government agency, those are millions of customers they previously were not able to get. They couldn't even garner a look, and now they can. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. You're the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.